Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Raylene Marks, your host, bringing you the top stories, as you know, from Israel and surrounds right here on this platform and also on YouTube. And if you want your daily dose of headlines, well, at least from Monday to Thursday, don't forget that you can subscribe by clicking on the big red subscribe button, and you will be notified every time we post a brief. But let's take a look at those headlines. And as has become a trend here, and an unfortunate trend, the dominating story is the COVID-19 virus. And Israel's numbers are up again, prompting the health ministry to warn of possible new restrictions within the next day or so. The health ministry have said that if they impose restrictions, they will close commerce, stores, etc. for at least 5 weeks. And this comes as malls and outdoor markets have just been reopened. And I'm sure, like many of you around the world, that this is taking a tremendous toll on people's well-being, on the economy, as we try and do everything we can to try and stop the spread before the rollout of the vaccine. In fact, statistics have some 50,000 families in Israel are now living below the poverty line. Benny Gantz, who is the defense minister and also the alternate prime minister, has called for the coronavirus cabinet to be convened immediately, and he is waiting for an answer from the prime minister. And as the numbers increase, so we have been told that at least 240 Israelis returning from abroad have tested positive for the coronavirus and have had to enter quarantine. So we really hope for some kind of solution, maybe one that balances opening or allowing for some commerce to stay open while maybe restricting other in more red zones. But this we will have to wait on the coronavirus cabinet to agree on and enforce into law with the health ministry. And in other news, this time more positive, and you know our favorite story to talk about here is the ongoing normalization. And next week, the first delegation of Americans and Israelis will head off to Morocco. As many of you know, Israel and Morocco agreed to normalize ties on Thursday last week. Very exciting, especially for Israel's massive community. In fact, over 1 million Israelis can trace their roots to Morocco, and many of us have been waiting for this for a very long time. But the first official delegation will head to Rabat next week, headed by Jared Kushner. And if this wasn't enough, we are all in hot anticipation of something great, and that is the release of the second installment of the Wonder Woman movies. Why is this important, you ask? Well, of course, Wonder Woman is played by our very own Gal Gadot, and you can imagine the immense pride on Israelis as the movie was promoted in Dubai with the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building, lit up with our very own Wonder Woman. Such nachas. And it has been confirmed that the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange and the Abu Dhabi Stock Exchange have signed a memorandum of understanding. And this all takes place on a background of incredible miracles since the signing and the announcement of the Abraham Accords. And what better way to celebrate this than to have delegations from Bahrain, from the United Arab Emirates, joining Israelis last night at the Kotel, at the Wailing Wall, to light the Chanukiah. This is what it means to bring light, peace and miracles to the region. But another area that is in dire need of a miracle is the Knesset. And while we await for a decision to dissolve the Knesset within the next couple of days, it has also been reported in the Hebrew media that Avigdor Lieberman, the chairman of Yisrael Biteinu, has appealed to the leaders of other parties that include Lapid for Yesh Atid, Naftali Bennett, as well as Gideon Sa'ar, who has just left the Likud to form his own party, to join together to form one big bloc that will help prevent Prime Minister Netanyahu from forming a coalition in the next election should the Likud be successful. And it has also been speculated that Gabi Ashkenazi, one of the co-founders of the Blue and White Party, will depart that party. So never a dull moment in Israel, and as we head head up to more possible elections, so are we watching a Game of Thrones Israel style. And don't forget that if you want to read more about Israel's history and some original content, you can do so online at our website at www.layoftheland.com. This time you can take a stroll through the Nahum Gutman Galleria with Dave Kaplan as he narrates Gutman's story along with some of his artwork. It's also up on Facebook if you prefer to visit them. And if you haven't already, please give us a like or a follow. Let's grow that community. We know that you will be subscribing on our YouTube channel and also following us on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. And that's it for today. Until tomorrow, I'm Rolene Marks from a very, very chilly Israel, wishing you all a safe and healthy rest of your day. And we'll chat again tomorrow.